Hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of Bravely Default. In today's episode, we take on Heinkel of the Sky Knights, and it is going to be a Battle of the Knights. Now, thankfully, the Knight class has a lot of defensively oriented skills that we have access to. One of my personal favorites is something called Dual Shields, which allows us to equip shields onto both arms and really jacks up our defense. Combined with Auto Potion, it makes for a really tanky build. Now, we have some other strats that we're going to be using as well. With Anya's, we actually have Thief on her as well something called Raw Blind. And what Raw Blind does, it will allow us to steal 2 items instead of just 1. And Heinkel has something that we want to steal from him, so we're going to be stealing from his knight. In addition, we also have Adia, who is going to be sporting a tank build, focusing on Dual Shields, Shiver Spirit, Auto Potion, as well as something called Hasten World. And what Hasten World does, it will increase our BP by 1 at the end of each turn, which is really handy in building up your BP, but also it builds up the BP of your opponent. So you really need a strong defensive core before you start using Hasten World, but it's a very handy skill to have just to speed up battles. Now in Ring of Bell, we also have a martial arts build, so he is going to be sporting Knuckle Lore as well as Natural Talent to really bump up his physical attack strength, plus has some additional physical attack strength skills as well. So unfortunately, Ring of Bell, he's not holding anything. He has the worst defense out of everybody here, but he's going to be forming our physical core. Alright, let's roll. Let's take on this knight.
And so the traitor crawls out of the woodwork. I know not who your companions are, Adia, but you had better change your tune or else. For better or worse, you are the Grand Marshal's daughter, and still hold at least some sway in the duchy. Your fickle whims could lead to the destruction of our realm. You must understand the position in which you are placed.
He doesn't seem to realize I am the Wind Vestal.
The king has not been captured either. Why?
Adia, you know full well what will happen if you revolt against the duchy. Consider this carefully. Do you really intend to take up with these ruffians who accompany you?
They're no ruffians. They are my friends. I could not follow the path the Knights of the Eternian Sky had taken. So I set out to see the world with my own eyes. And now I have settled things with my father. But perhaps that was all a dream?
Your words make no sense. It disturbs me that you think there can be any excuse for your actions. You shall have to learn the resolve of a knight, the hard way. Your father judged you to have come of age. That is why he assigned you to the Eternian Sky Knights. But you throw it back in his face. For shame.
Okay, well, thanks to our dual shields, we actually don't have the ability to attack, but that's fine. We're actually going to be focusing entirely on using our abilities. First things first, we need to take care of his 2 minions on each of his sides. And to do that, we are going to be using our compounding. So, if we take medication and go compounding, we can combine 2 Floman shards together to form our Panthorian's Wrath, and that will pretty much eliminate his 2 minions he has on the side. They're fairly annoying to deal with because they can poison you and do a fair bit of damage, which is why we're going to really focus on getting rid of them on the first turn. With Onions, we're going to get full cover to Tiz while he's doing that to make sure he doesn't die. He probably won't because he has really stellar defense right now, but just in case. Now with Rainbow, we are going to drop his HP all the way down to 1, and we're going to be doing that with Martial Arts Phoenix Flight. And the reason we're doing this is because he has practically no defense. He has pretty terrible defense without anything equipped. And we're going to be relying on Protect Ally from the Knight class to keep him safe while he dishes out a lot of damage. Now with Adia, we're also going to get full cover to Ring a Bell while he's doing that so he doesn't get knocked out. Poison Arrow, that is exactly why I don't want to get hit by those Sky Archers. That's not the worst thing in the world. Adia being poisoned is very easy to take care of. Now in the meantime, we are going to have to wait for Tiz to recover his BP, but Hasten World will help to speed this up a little bit. Okay, so Alnius, we need to do 2 things with her. We are going to give full cover to Tiz while he recovers his BP, prevent him from getting knocked out, and also we are going to try and mug some shields off of Heinkel. Heinkel has access to something called Ice Flame Shields, and while they're not the best shield available to us, we can, however, it does give us immunity to both fire and ice, which is really good. Alright, with Edea, we need to get the poison off her, so we'll get the antidote ready, and then we will also give full cover to Ringabel as well. Now, also thanks to Chivalrous Spirit, we'll also be able to get extra defense once we protect an ally. Couldn't steal anything, that's fine. We will keep trying to steal the shields off of him. Okay, let's see, how are we doing for our defense right now? Agnes could use a little bit more HP, so I will have Tiz throw a cross potion over towards Agnes. Agnes, I'm going to have you brave and try to steal those shields again, and we'll give full cover to Tiz while we're at it. Ringabel is going to be using something called Pressure Point, and what Pressure Point does, it is a powerful attack that ignores physical defense. And Heinkel has some pretty respectable physical defenses. He has 150, which will pretty much make any offensive attack useless. So the whole theme behind this build I've got set up are things that will pierce defenses. Everything else that we do will basically not, it won't do enough damage at all. Let's see, with the deal we'll give full cover to Ringabel, and we'll also take this opportunity to get his HP as well. Now the more we protect our allies, the more our physical defenses will also increase. So we're gonna be receiving less and less damage each turn because of this. There we go, there's our Ice Flame Shield. And thanks to Mug Blind, we actually get 2 of them instead of 1. If I was to do this without that ability equipped, we would only receive 1. And, you know, 2 is better than 1. Yay, math! Now that we have the Ice Shield, we can now pretty much focus entirely on taking this guy down. So we're going to use Compounding, we're going to combine 2 Fulminant Shards together to form Panthorian's Wraths. And this also pierces his physical defenses. There's also a fair bit of other ways I could be doing this as well. For instance, I could be using the Dark Knight to do this as well. Let's see, we're going for full cover, and then we're also going to use something called Supercharge. And then what Supercharge does is it will attack, but it uses your physical defense to decide how much damage it does. On top of that, it also pierces physical defenses. So this is very handy on taking down Heinkel. Now on top of that, I could also be using something called Minus Strike from the Iron Knight, not the Iron Knight, from the Dark Knight class as well, and that would also do a set amount of damage each turn. This is a fairly straightforward battle. All I really need are just any kind of attacks that will do a set amount of damage and completely ignore physical defenses. Now if I also try to attack him using a weapon instead, like an axe, or just physically punch him in the face, it would basically do no damage. Actually, I'll even demonstrate that right now. So let's see, with Tiz, we're going to go for some compounding, keep working on that damage. Agnes, you give full cover to Tiz. Ringabel, I'm going to have you attack him just to kind of show how little damage we're going to be doing. Ringabel has an offensive strength of 428. So let's see how much damage he's able to do to Heinkel. And in the meantime, Edea, you give full cover to Ringabel while he does that. $1,000. Okay, that's not terrible, but compared to Pressure Point, it's considerably less. On top of that, I need about 400 damage. I need 400 physical attack strength in order to do that much damage to him, so it's not great. It would take a lot of buffs in order to get our physical attack strength up that high. It's much easier just to find ways to pierce his physical defense. Alright, Agnes, we're going for full cover onto Tiz, and we're also going to go for some Supercharge. Ringabel, I can actually brave with you now and go for another Pressure Point, and yeah, we'll go for another physical attack. That wasn't actually too bad. In Edea, we can brave with you. We'll go for full cover onto Ringabel and go for a Supercharge. This is primarily why I like the Knight. It's fairly bulky. It's very hard to take down the Knight. On top of that, when you combine it with Auto Potion, it makes for a very tanky build. On top of which, I could also be using Default Guard from the Templar class to increase the amount of damage reduction. Increase the amount of damage reduction? Increase the amount of damage that is done to us. Alright, let's see, let's get full cover to Tiz, keep him alive. Ringabel, we're going to go for Pressure Point with you, and with Edea, we're going to go for full cover onto Ringabel. In the next episode, I think we're going to be taking on Orthros, And I can use that episode to pretty much demonstrate why Knight is pretty broken in its own right. It's a very good defensively oriented class. And we're going to use it to break the game even further. So, yay. Let's see, let's get full cover the ring bell. Let's go for a supercharge. And he's done. Heinkel, you're done. Yeah, at this point he's only doing like 120 damage.
My sword was not up to the task.
Done and done.
I am sorry, Lord Marshal. I could not stop your daughter.
Heinkel didn't seem anything like he was before, did he? If only we could have spent more time talking and hearing each other out. He reminds me of someone. Who? Someone with a strong sense of justice and quick to anger. Ah! And who won't budge once a decision has been made? Oh! So, who is it? Someone with whom you can't have a calm discussion about anything. Are you going to tell us who it is or not? Ah, ha, ha, Rainbow, I see what you did there. Okay, well, this was a fairly short episode. It was actually a pretty easy boss. The only really hard part with coming up with a strat was deciding how to get rid of his henchmen. Poison is one of the only things that can really pierce our defenses, and it's fairly annoying to deal with. But once his henchmen are gone, this battle is really straightforward and easy. Okay, in the next episode, we will go take on Orthros in the Wind Temple. As always, thank you guys so very much for watching this, and I hope to see you next time. Laters!